welcome to another episode of Chatty Bros with Becca and Jess.
Hello, broads.
Hello.
Hello. We were just talking about how I've been getting many messages from a lot of you broads saying that you tried Claim Jumper out after one of our Bachelor recaps where I talked about Claim Jumper, and everyone is like, girl, yes, this shit is fire. It's so delicious. It's so delicious.
I get that confused with like Outback Steakhouse. I'm like, wait, did we talk about this last time? I'm having deja vu. I think I brought that up and you said it was the more upscale version.
It's just more, I think the dining experience is a higher quality, but it's more like you just get more food. And their menu is like a Cheesecake Factory type menu where you can really eat anything.
Okay, I'm going to ask you something. Do you like Red Lobster?
I'll be real with you. I don't think I've ever eaten at Red Lobster before. Was that judgment?
No, just wondering. I went like once as a kid because my great grandma, my nanny, really wanted to go. And all of us were kind of like digging our heels in to go to Red Lobster. And she was like, I'm gonna pay for it. I'm taking you guys out.
How was it?
My sweet little nanny, white hair, her walker. That's where she wanted to go. Cheddar biscuits, bomb.
Ooh.
But my parents ingrained in me, like my parents would always be like, we live 3 hours from the ocean. You don't want to eat seafood in a restaurant that's 3 hours from the ocean.
Yeah.
And that's really stuck by me all these years.
I get that. But there are other options besides lobster at Red Lobster though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they serve lobster at Red Lobster? I feel like that's where you get a banging price for some lobster.
Methinks. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's probably all frozen. I don't think there's anything like wrong with it. I eat frozen fish all the time. I don't know why my parents are acting like they caught it and drove it in a truck for 3 days, like to Fresno before dropping it off.
I feel like that's definitely a parent thing.
It is.
It's definitely
like, it's not very logical.
You know, I've been having those recently where I'm realizing things that are ingrained in my head that my parents taught me that now I'm like, wait, is that really that big of a deal?
Like, we're talking about smaller things, guys. Like, we've always talked about Christian beliefs. Now we're talking about things like not going to a fish restaurant in Fresno.
No, I'm talking about like when we'd be driving late at night and I'd be like, I needed to find something, so I turned the light on the back, and my mom would be like, "Oh my God, we're gonna get in a car accident," and would freak out.
I can't see a goddamn thing, swerving all over the road.
And so I was always like, "You do not turn a light on when it is dark in the dark in the car and dark outside."
Every single kid has experienced that,
right?
Like, why?
Or like, were your parents weird about having the windows rolled down on the freeway when you're driving?
Kind of, yes, but the biggest thing, which is still a thing for me, is if you only roll down one window, you got to roll it down. Otherwise it goes.
See, my parents would always be like, debris. You don't know what's gonna flick up and like hurt you. And then I have so much.
How is it gonna fly into the window though?
I'm not sure. I have so much paranoia about it now though. Evan and Ember, they live to have the windows rolled down with the music playing, like when we're like coasting on the freeway, and I'm like, I don't allow it, even though I don't know if it makes sense.
I don't even think like with like physics, like stuff is going to get into the car. Like bugs don't come into the window usually unless it's a bee flying directly into the path of the window.
Becca.
What?
Becca. Oh my God.
Tell.
Speaking of physics.
Oh, my tummy hurts.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Speaking of fish.
Did you need some antacid?
I ate a fish bowl. No, sometimes it's like when I'm really hungry and then I eat food too fast, I get tummy ache.
Oh, I'm
but
sorry.
I'm drinking a ginger juice.
Hey, you've been juicing today. Get that health on.
Yeah.
I am drinking what the health nuts like to call Coke Zero.
Have you drank
in a mason jar.
Drank Olipop before?
So good.
Yeah, you should start buying that.
So good. I do really like it a lot. But,
it's not the same.
It's not quite the same. It tastes a little
Cassava
more...
root fiber doesn't taste like Coca-Cola, you mean?
Not quite.
It's also not as fizzy as Coke.
I like
Coke is like so fizzy.
Yeah. I did try the lime Topo Chicos the other day that I'd never had the lime flavored ones.
I love Topo Chico.
Ooh. The lime flavor tastes just like Sprite, but not as sugary.
Also, do you have what's it called? The Soda Stream? You should get a Soda Stream, I feel like. I feel like that would be good for you.
That would be good for me.
Maybe you drink more water.
Yeah, because I do love a soda.
Not trying to hate, not saying you're dehydrated queen. I don't know.
Well,
I don't think I've ever seen you drink water in the studio.
You would be. I don't drink water in the studio ever. I need something to amp me up. I do drink a decent amount of water.
Okay.
But
Okay, I'm not gonna hate.
I typically just like do it right before bed, which isn't great either because then I'm going up peeing every 5 seconds. But I drink like a ton before bed because
I
I
get really thirsty before
my
bed.
body realizes that like, bitch, you
caught
haven't
up with
been
the day.
you haven't been drinking any water all day, and you're going, why do I have a headache? Why are my lips chapped? And it's like, oh, maybe because you haven't drank all day. Anyways, what I was gonna say, physics. So after we talked about black holes the other day with Craig.
Oh my
which, by the way,
God, I
Broads,
forgot
if
about
you
that.
haven't listened to our Craig Conant episode, it was so much fun.
Yeah, it was.
Love having Craig. Well, Catherine Tomes, who we had on our first anti-racism panel.
Yes, I remember her specifically.
Love Catherine. She sent me a DM and said in her physics class, she learned about something that when you go through a black hole, it's called spaghettification.
Yes, I know about this actually. I've read a little bit about black holes.
When I looked up spaghettification.
It depends on the type of black holes, though. There's a couple different, 2 main types of black holes. Anyway, continue with spaghetti.
No, but yeah, there's something about like they've seen black holes like smash stars and then also spaghettify stars, which like it stretches them out.
Which means you could be stretched out somehow.
There's a potential that you could go through a black hole and pass away, or there's a potential that you could become like a spaghetti character and somehow survive.
Oh no, you wouldn't survive.
I read somewhere that there was like, they don't necessarily know that like you could survive as a spaghetti being.
Okay.
What if we're all on a planet somewhere one day and we're all just like spaghetti creatures?
What I really don't understand is like the oxygen situation. Like with a black hole, like if we're talking about getting through a black hole, like I just don't get it. Like the whole concept of space stuff is just like really confusing to me.
Yeah, I'll be real with you. You know, in the last episode, we're talking about NFTs, now of physics, and I feel not very smart.
Feel out of my league is all I'm going to say. I think back to YouTube, back to Bachelor.
Back to Bachelor. I got a degree in communication, so I can kind of speak, and that's really about it. You did a little bit of debate club up in here.
I don't get it. How could you like, this is what I don't get about black holes. Like, is it just like, okay. I guess like we're all made up of oh my God, all the science majors out there are just
no, that's what I'm saying. I feel
but I'm just gonna say this anyway.
So embarrassed even talking about it. Like I said with the NFTs the other day, and now this, we're like the finance majors, the science majors are just like, what are they talking about, or what am I saying right now?
Okay, you know how like pixels make up like an image?
Yes.
Like are the cells of our body sort of like pixels, and like basically could like a black hole safely like rearrange like the cells in our body?
Interesting.
If that makes sense.
That, I mean,
because I don't even understand how a star could get spaghettified. Like it's obviously not possible in the galaxy that we're in at the moment. So that's where I'm like, I guess black holes can make impossible things possible. Like nothing is truly impossible when you have God.
I was waiting for that part.
Nothing is truly impossible when you have God on your side. No, but like when we talk about impossibilities or possibilities, they're just in the realm of our like galaxy and particularly our planet. So like maybe we could exist as spaghetti people. I don't know why I'm scoffing at that idea.
I like the idea of us being spaghetti people.
I mean, couldn't cells be
rearranged? I would think. Oh, I was watching on Netflix the other day. There's been 2 documentary series that I've been watching, just started, and I'm super into them.
Oh.
1, Ancient Aliens, of course, so good. And then 2,
I know Gray watches that.
Oh gosh, it's so good. And then 2, the name of it, it's not, I don't even know the name. It's about death. It's about the afterlife and like scientists trying to figure out.
Oh, people were telling me to watch this.
It's like people talking about their near-death experiences, and then scientists
Isn't it called
trying
like
to
after death or like after life or after death
something
or something
explained, I think.
But yeah,
it's very interesting. Anyways, combination of these 2 things together, they were talking about in Ancient Aliens how like our structures and like us as beings and where our planet is arranged and like pulling out from the galaxies to the universe to all that. It's like we are a full nervous system. That's what it looks like.
Wow.
And I'm like, what if we are just a cell in God? And that's what God is. Like all of the universes, all of the galaxies, the entire universe.
Like we're just like a blood vessel.
We are like a blood vessel in a divine being.
Whoa. Does that mean that our body like cells with its own little tiny world with like conscious?
Well, that's the thing. It's like in your body, right? There are like cells within, like everything is broken down so small.
That fight against
and
the
then when you
disease.
look at like actual like footage of like the Earth and then stars and other sun or other stars and then other planets and expanded and to see the other galaxies and like how massive it is. And then within like our earth, everything, and they're just saying it's just like a nervous system. That's exactly what it looks like scientifically. So like, what if we are actually part of like a nervous system of like a divine being?
You know, the pictures where it's like a picture of someone holding a picture of themselves, holding a picture of themselves, holding a picture of that's like how I communicate that in my brain. And the idea like there will just keep being a picture of someone holding a picture of themselves, holding a picture. And it's like, maybe there's like our bodies are, there's
like a cell in our body, like to our body, to us, to a community, to
like what if there's a world inside our body?
Yeah.
Are we high right now? What's happening?
Of course, this is the middle of the afternoon.
You say that, and I'm like, honestly, makes sense. Like that was like when we had Craig that one time when we were doing conspiracy theories, and we were just like, Craig was like, yeah, I believe it. Like that's 100%. That's 100% real. I mean, why the fuck not? I hate when people say that shit is impossible.
I mean, I just like to like come up with potential like thoughts or like the things that I can kind of be like, oh, because I feel like people ask all the time, like, what do you believe? And I never have an answer for them because my beliefs are like shifting constantly. I don't feel like I have any proof of something. So I'm always like, I don't know. Today I have an inclination, but tomorrow it might be different.
Did you know that scientists like almost like know for certain that there's like alternate realities, like where like you're existing, but it's not, I mean, I guess that's what I can't quite wrap my head around is like, is it me existing? Like, is it a consciousness that's just a carbon copy of mine?
Also, I do think it's funny when people do ask, like, will ask me, for instance, like, what do you believe? I'm just like, I can't explain cryptocurrency to you. Like, I don't think that my thought on the afterlife really is probably like spot on.
Yeah.
I don't understand the nuance of the NFT. So the idea of alternate realities, like I like to think about it.
You know what's a trip? There's like billions and billions of people in the world right now. And like over time, you know, there's been billions and billions of people. There's probably been someone that's actually just like you that's existed before.
Would you want to meet that person? Or would you be too freaked out?
I wouldn't be freaked out. I had a dream once that I met like my 4-year-old self. Like I met my child self. It wasn't like
Would
crazy.
you ever want to do like DMT or something like that to have like a kind of life-changing experience?
I do, but like I don't know. I'm like I got a little. Okay, I'm reading this book right now that's really good actually. My friend Taylor gave it to me and because she didn't want to read it. She's like, this book is stupid. Do you want to read this?
Shout out Taylor.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. It's called like something consciousness. Healing consciousness healing. Some shit like that.
Sounds like a book.
Basically, it's about like this woman is a guide and she'll use different things to tap into your like consciousness and heal it. And sometimes she'll use psychedelics and stuff. And she very respectfully has been guided by like indigenous cultures and is very careful about not appropriating them. But basically she is how she describes her and how other people like in indigenous groups like in Mexico and stuff that she's worked with describe her as being like sort of a bridge to like white people in the Western world in the US. We're so cut off from our own, like everyone has indigenous roots in some country and a lot of those, but we're just like further separated because like you're in European culture, you know, it's been a really long time since we were like in touch with the land. And
yeah.
Anyway, so she sort of is like, I'm kind of like the bridge, like for white people to help tap into like the indigenous wisdom that all of us like crave to find some sort of without being harmful to those cultures. Anyway, so she talks about like how sometimes people get traumatized by stuff. And like I've talked about before, like the first couple times I did shrooms, I think I got like a little bit traumatized because I didn't have anyone to guide me or help me and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And like when you do psychedelics, you are messing with something that's super powerful that can alter your consciousness. And if you're not like prepared properly or if you have bad experience, it can be really traumatizing. So anyway, now I am really, really, really anxious. And so I'd like to do those things and maybe one day I'll work through to that. But the answer is yes, totally. Absolutely. Why not? YOLO, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, see, I'm too nervous to do anything. You know me with the drugs. I get so scared. And a lot of my fear, honestly, is I'm nervous that because of my mental health issues,
I wouldn't do a big thing like that.
That there's this part of me that's like, if there's something that like messes with my chemistry somehow and like reignites certain or like inflames certain mental health things that I am.
Yeah, I wouldn't do any heavy psychedelics.
Yeah, you're probably not going to catch me doing that. I just have had a friend recently who he is just like very like, it's like his life goal to try to do psychedelics with me. And I'm just like, no, constantly. And I'm like, I like, God bless. I like so support everyone doing what like they want to do in that way. But
what about when you get older? It like doesn't matter. Not that like when you're older it doesn't matter, but like that's not what I mean. But like
no, I just like I know certain people who have had certain propensities who then it aggravated things. And
well, that's what I'm saying. What if you're like in your 70s and you're like,
because I don't know if I want to be like raging bipolar in my 80s. Like just like a full mania for like 4 years. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it would give me energy again. I'd be like, all of a sudden I hit 80, I'd do it again, like full manic state for like many years. I'd get like so much life done. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, anyways.
That might not be a good choice.
Does anyone else ever think? I don't know. I was trying to think of a good segue. So broads, we are doing an episode today, Does Anyone Else episode, and you all sent in a ton of Does Anyone Else blank and things that habits that you might have, things you may do, thoughts you may have. And we wanted to talk about them because I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I always have those in my brain.
Yep.
Like it's that constant. I remember having so many Does Anyone Else right after I had my daughter. It was just like the postpartum stuff, for instance. Yeah. I was just like, does anyone else have extreme pain when they also pee right afterwards? And because, you know, it's not something at least at the time when I had Ember that wasn't talked about super frequently, at least I didn't have those outlets on social media, that I was like, why does this hurt so bad?
Oh my God. Yeah.
So I feel like maybe sometimes answering does anyone else questions?
Yeah, I'm going to bring up the document on my phone
messes with my brain. So should we just like dive straight into this biz? Actually, beforehand, can we take a quick pause before we dive into all of these grand questions? Yes. Let's do this. So broads, I will happily admit that I am obsessed with my 2 puppies. Nothing is better than lying in a pile of puppy cuddles with my king and queen, Boris and Ashley. I will go to the ends of the earth to find the best products for them. And after a lot of searching and a ton of trial and error, I have to say that I found the best grooming, itch relief, and odor control brand of all time. It is called Scout's Honor. And let me tell you, since switching over to Scout's Honor, my dog's coats are shinier than they have ever been. They smell really good. For me, I have 2 dogs who have very, very sensitive skin. They get like allergies all the time and are itching because a little bacteria is on their skin. Ugh. And I have never found something that works for them until Scout's Honor. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh. I remember one of our dogs used to have issues like that with skin all the time. And I wish we had a product like that.
Yeah.
Their probiotic grooming products are scientifically proven to be a natural solution for treating your pet's skin problems and keeping them healthy. So they've got everything you could possibly need to keep your pets in tip-top shape, like probiotic itching relief, a line of odor eliminating lotions and shampoos, and even fur detangler.
I love the super sour anti-chew spray so much. What? Also. Yes. So our little pup Ashley tends to like to gnaw on any shoe that she can find. And all I have to do is do a quick little spray on the shoesies with this anti-chew spray. And I swear to God, she will not go back and touch them.
Have you tasted it?
I haven't tasted it, no.
You should. Okay.
I mean, it's all natural. So check out all their award-winning products online or wherever pet supplies are sold. And with every purchase made, Scout's Honor provides 1 day's worth of meals for a rescue animal in need. It's so awesome. They're such a great company.
To receive 20% off your first order, go to scoutshonor.com/chatty. Remember, that's Scouts with a K at SKOUTS honor.com/chatty. for 20% off your order. Scout's Honor, natural and preventative grooming solutions for pets.
Okay, broads, food for thought. No two people have identical hair. Like, it's like a snowflake, right? Everyone's hair is different and personal. So why would we all use identical hair care products? It doesn't make any sense. As a society, I think we can all agree we are past some of these big box store generic hair care offerings because there are so many better options out there now.
There are so many better options. And for personalized hair care at an affordable price, Jess and I have both been loving Function of Beauty. Function of Beauty is the world's leader in all things customizable hair care. And you're just going to start off by taking a quick online quiz on their website so the team can learn about your hair type, your hair goals, the basics, and they'll take your results and they'll get to work on your 100% customized hair care products. There are over 54 trillion possible formulations. If that's not tailor-made hair care, I don't know what is.
Yeah, for real. After I took my Function of Beauty online quiz, I got my custom formulas shipped to my house in just a few days. And let me tell you, my hair has never looked better. As someone who often gets frustrated with my hair, I can say Function of Beauty has brought me so much joy because it fits my hair. It helps my hair do what I would like my hair to do. Function of Beauty has 50,000 5-star reviews, and they've earned every single one of them. I will never switch back to one size fits all hair care. No.
Never buy off the shelf just to be disappointed ever again. Go to functionofbeauty.com/broads to take your quiz, and you're going to save 20% off your first order. That applies to their full range of customized hair, skin, and body products. Go to functionofbeauty.com/broads to let them know we sent you and get 20% off your order. That's functionofbeauty.com/broads.
All right, let's start off one just right out the gate, okay? Someone asks, does anyone else secretly hate when men wear flip-flops?
No.
So you don't have a problem with the flip-flop guy? You like a surfer. You're into a surfer, right?
Yeah, I guess. Like plastic flip-flops is a little bit different.
What do you mean?
Like rainbows,
Okay.
I don't even look at them. Like they're just not even, I don't notice them.
Okay.
Like a plastic like thong, what is that brand? Like Havaianas or whatever the fuck?
Havaianas?
Whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That were real hot for a long time.
That are like just, and they're literally just like rubber thongs.
I know.
Flip-flops.
I was just kind of like, I never understood what the
Did
what
your
the rage
parents
was.
call them thongs when you were a kid? We
No.
always called them thongs.
We called them flip-flops.
My mom would call them thongs, and then my older siblings would be like, no,
Oh, stop.
Yeah, it'd be like they're thongs that go between your toes, I guess. Anyway, like those like plastic ones, I'm just kind of like, what's the vibe here? What are you doing? But rainbows don't bother me.
Do you like wearing flip-flops?
I do. I mean, I don't because the style doesn't.
But you think
doesn't
they're
mesh with my
comfortable?
style. I love rainbows.
Okay. I think my feet weren't made for flip-flops because any type of shoe that has like a one of those thong situations, it's like within 10 minutes, I'm like calloused all around my toes. I hate it.
No, they're honestly way more comfortable for me than Birkenstocks, but I wear Birkenstocks because they just like fit my style better.
Oh, interesting.
But like Birkenstocks, I feel like I always have to get the ones with the back strap, even these shoes, because I feel like I have to cling on with my toes to keep them on.
Hold on, I'm gonna grip.
Yes. I feel like nobody talks about that. What's this? Have you ever? Does anyone ever feel like they have to cling with their toes to sandal styles like this that don't go between your toes if they don't have a back strap?
Yes.
Where you're like,
and when your feet get a little sweaty
life.
and you're trying to like walk up, like, or walk straight, I feel like I feel more.
Oh my God, yeah. Or if you're trying to like walk fast, forget about it.
No,
that is just like you're just clinging for dear life with your toes.
So yes, definitely like the flip-flop situation helps in that way, but I get all sorts of callousy. As far as a
like
man,
in between your toes?
It just hurts. It hurts my feet. My feet are, if I took my shoe off right now, we joke about the fact that I have like a Mattel Barbie foot. I can't spread my toes at all. And when I say I can't spread my toes at all, I'm talking about like my toes can't even do this. Like they won't move from each other. Odd. So when I go and like get my nails in and they put the little things in between, they have to like pry my feet open, and everyone always makes a comment about it. They're like, wow, you can't move your toes at all. They're just like
stubborn little guys
stuck together. So even just a little bit of that, it like aggravates my toes. I'm definitely going to be one of those people who get older and like the toes like start to like
kind of fold over each other.
Yeah. So waiting for that moment. Anyways, as far as a man wearing a flip-flop, I love a surfer. I love like, cute shorts and a flip-flop. That's fine. I do have a huge pet peeve with a man in
Jeans.
full pants, like jeans, wearing flip-flops.
Does that trigger you? Does it remind you of Southern California pastors?
Probably that's what it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guy trying to come up and be like, I'm relatable, guys. Like, I'm super low key.
Or even just like guys like, this is absolutely no shade to them, but guys like Cassie's dad. Like, I feel like I've had so many friends growing up who were like lived on the beach whose dads would wear pants with like flip-flops.
Well, I mean, I think my dad, dad did that. All the dads did that.
Well, yeah. And Cassie's dad, like they were in Huntington Beach. That's why I said Cassie's dad. I don't know why that was the first Bachelor person that came to mind, or even her dad. I have no idea why that came up, but yeah.
Maybe that is what it is. Maybe it's because, I love a daddy, but there's always this thing when I see a guy in like jeans and flip-flops.
Dad cash.
I'm a little bit like, I want to dress you. Like, that's kind of my thing more.
My
dad
dad wears flip-flops all the time with shorts, but with shorts.
Yeah, the shorts, it doesn't bother me with the shorts. It's when it's a full-length pant in the flip-flop. I'm a little bit like...
To me, that makes sense.
I mean, I don't know. I guess like it wouldn't bother me if they were wearing
male
Birks.
flip-flops are just so big.
Yeah, they smack too. Back when they like, or what is in the thing?
Yeah.
I don't like the sound of it.
It's just making me want to buy a pair of rainbows. I miss wearing flip-flops. I can't remember the last time I wore a pair of just like thong style flip-flops.
I used to live right next to the Rainbow, like their main
outlet or their headquarters. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They are expensive flip-flops. My mom, everyone in junior high,
for a long time.
Everyone in junior high used to wear them. My mom would be like, "I'm not paying $50 for flip-flops when I could buy $2 ones at Old Navy." Mm-hmm. My mom was like, "Hell no," and I was like, "Mom, but all the rich kids at my private school are wearing them."
But I need them. Yeah. All right. Oh, this is an interesting one. Does anyone else check to make sure their alarm is set like 50 times before they fall asleep?
If I have a big thing, yes.
Nonstop. Like full paranoid.
All the time?
Checking constantly.
Yeah,
constantly.
No, not unless I have a flight or a deadline, like something hard, then I will check.
For me to fall asleep, I have to have an alarm set, and I will check like 100 times.
Wow.
I set my alarm for no reason. So like if I have nothing going on, if Evan and I are at a hotel, I will set my alarm.
Does anyone else have such a good internal clock that you'll wake up 5 minutes before your alarm goes off?
Never once in my life.
Really?
No.
I've always, since I was a kid, I would always like wake up like 5 minutes before my alarm, and I'd be like, "What was even the point of the alarm?"
Wait, for real?
Yeah, like I will have it so in my head that I have to wake up. I will wake up like right on time.
I'm so envious of internal alarm clocks. It's the same type of people. You're the same type of person who have the internal alarm clocks, or the type of people who get fucking second winds when they're running. Okay, I've never gotten a second wind, and I've never woken up just via my body.
You haven't ran far enough, bitch.
I'm not saying that I necessarily have, but this second wind, I don't believe it. Okay. And this internal alarm clock.
Weren't Evan and I talking about that? Was that us?
The other day you guys were just like, and then you were like, I think I got a third wind. And he's like, oh yeah, I got one of those the other day too.
No,
and
he got a third wind. I was like, he was the one
he got a third wind.
And I was like, I don't know if I got that. All right, what are you running, 15 miles?
And I'm like, I don't believe you. I've never even gotten one. I'm about to die. I've gotten this side stitch is actually going to kill me. Wind, whatever that might be. Because my side stitches get real bad.
Yeah, I've definitely had that too. Side stitches are bad.
Does anyone else when they run have where you feel like your lungs, like your throat, not your lungs, your throat's on fire?
No, but my ears hurt really bad sometimes when I'm running, when it's cold.
Okay, like they ache?
Really bad, yeah.
Maybe I think it might be the same feeling.
Probably. Sometimes
but
my
like
nose will
throat.
hurt really bad. Like my nose canal, probably like your throat, where it's like cold burning, like burning.
Yes, the cold burning. It feels like, it's almost like my throat feels like it's bleeding, like freezing and bleeding.
That's how my nose feels when I run.
What is that?
But is it only with coldish weather? You don't get that when it's really hot, do you?
I don't think I maybe get it as much, but I typically get it when I'm running for a while. I start to get like a crazy like burning, and it's one of the reasons why like I can't run for a long time. I just can't handle it.
I remember Googling it because I would get the feeling like I had blood in my nose.
Yes.
Do you get that in your throat?
Yes, in my throat. It feels like that salty, bloody
Okay, yes, because
feeling.
I would get it in my nose and I would feel like my nose was bleeding. And apparently it just has to do with something like it does have to do with like your blood flowing a lot to like areas that you're using. I don't actually remember. Never mind. But I remember that there's a very like, it happens.
That's one of those things that I think about all the time. Like when I used to be in PE class and we'd all be like running.
Yeah.
I'd be like, and I wouldn't bring it up because at the time I was just like, everyone else seemed in way better shape than me. So I didn't want to be that person. Be like, anyone else feel like they're dying here? It's just like, anyone else feel like their throat's bleeding and like they're drinking their own blood like as they're running? No, anybody? No.
Earbuds really hurt too. Do you ever run with the earbuds and it's like your ears start to like, I can't do it so bad.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
What?
Oh my God, by the way.
What?
Oh my God, this happened to me a couple days ago and it was so scary. That was me hitting the glass. It wasn't an earthquake.
Who has a cowbell outside the garage? That's what I thought was going on. Like, who's walking past the studio banging on a cowbell? Okay.
You know, my neighbor. You know how he gets. Okay, this happened a couple days ago and it scared me so much. Oh my God. Okay, so this is, first of all, is only something... This is such a me thing that I feel like would happen. And Evan was laughing as he was helping me because it is just such a me thing. So I was like casually eating Chipotle.
Oh my God.
Enjoying myself. No, but I do all the time. Okay. I was eating by myself.
I meant like serious choke.
You know, I tend to choke.
Heimlich? Has anyone ever had to do the Heimlich? Oh my God. You're like, oh yeah.
Girl, one time in 5th grade in front of the entire class.
Who had to give you the Heimlich?
My teacher. I was sitting there and I was like,
what?
I was like sucking on like a sour candy or something and I like laughed and I went, oh, and it got stuck. It literally was like, and I looked at my friends
scary.
And it was,
that's scary.
It's full panic.
Oh my God.
It's full panic.
Oh my God.
And so because I'm like, I can't breathe. At first I was looking at people to see if they'd notice me. And then I just stood up and ran to the front of the class. And was like to the teacher, and I was like doing this, and then the teacher, the
cowbell,
teacher, it's hitting the thing. The teacher then gave me the Heimlich, and my best girlfriend was having a full blown laughing attack through the whole thing because when she gets nervous, she laughs, and so she thought I was dying. She's fully red, laughing so hard, and I didn't talk to her for like 3 days afterwards because I was like, "How dare you!" Like I came back and sat down next to her, and she still like couldn't stop laughing, and I was like, "I almost passed away."
Are you a silent treatment person? Or used to be?
No,
just 5th grade.
I don't think in general, but I was so mad because I was also so embarrassed and I was scared and I was embarrassed and I was like 10, all those things. So yeah, I was like just really starting to notice like the hot boys in the front row, and I'm like, of course,
that's a way to get attention.
Like, oh my God, no, for real.
My dad had to save his friend not the other day, this was months ago, because they went out to dinner and his friend started choking on steak, and
steak, I hear that happens a lot,
and his wife was kind of like passed out because like I don't know if she was mixing some alcoholic beverages with some prescriptions or what was going on, but it was just like,
so oh my God, that's so scary.
Not there, and like was like, and my dad had to get up and give him the Heimlich in front of the whole restaurant, and everyone started clapping.
Oh my God, he's a hero.
Hometown hero.
They're like, "Sir, can we get your photo for the wall?"
Crap. And my dad always, oh my God, my dad, he's like, I call him my atheist friend, you know? And so after that, I was like, do you believe in God now? And my dad tells that story to everyone.
Oh my God. Okay, but like, that is does anyone else get all of a sudden when they're driving alone, like random intense fear all of a sudden of choking? Because I get that all the time.
What?
Yeah.
Maybe because I've never choked on anything.
It's probably, I've choked numerous times. So like,
I mean, I've choked on things before, but no, I've never never had anything like that happen.
I've choked. So
You're afraid of like being in the car, eating something.
Yeah, dude.
Stop. Oh my God, dude.
I get scared a lot alone in the car.
Do you know how to give yourself the Heimlich?
I mean, like, if you hit or like
as if you can do that. No, I think you're supposed to like go up to the back of a chair or something.
I'm just scared about like being in the middle of the freeway, like trying to pull over and like I can't breathe and like what are you gonna do? Like,
whoa.
So I don't typically eat when I drive because I'm so freaked out.
I've literally never had that cross my mind.
It's scary.
Were you really scared when Ember was a baby of having her choke on things?
Dude,
terrified.
Still now, it's like a huge fear of mine. If you ever hear me snap at Ember, it's typically because I see her running around the house while she's eating, or like start laughing while she has a mouthful of food, and I get so scared. So speaking of this choking thing though, so I'm eating a couple days ago, I'm eating Chipotle. I cannot believe I'm eating Chipotle, and all of a sudden I take a bite of something and I feel like a sharp feeling in my throat.
Did you bite off part of the fork? Sorry, I keep trying to guess. This has got to be so annoying for people listening. I keep trying to guess the end date before it happens. Okay.
So I swallowed the fork. No, I feel like it feels like a sharp like feeling in my throat. And I'm like, what the heck is that? And it starts to kind of freak me out because it's like really sharp and I feel it in the back of my throat. And I'm like, whatever this is so sharp and it hurts. If I fully swallow this, is this going to get like stuck like in my esophagus? It hurts so bad. So I go to the bathroom and I look in the mirror open wide, and I have you know where like your little dangling the uvulas and then where your tonsils are, there's like the flap with your throat like area and then your tonsil, and there's like that little space in between on both sides. There is a thin piece of wood lodged between my tonsil and the back of my throat.
What?
Fucking lodged. Okay, stuck like at an angle like this. And I am like, I'm going to die. Like, I didn't know what was gonna happen.
Just like
literally lodged like this. Like just at an angle. Just stuck. Piercing the back of my throat. Piercing the back of my throat, my tonsil, or however, whatever that thing is. Piercing. So I run out. So what I'm freaked out about now is I'm like, if I swallow, what if this thing comes like, I don't know how big this is, like how deep it's going in. If I swallow, what if it gets stuck in my esophagus and I have to like go to the emergency room or something? Because I didn't know quite how big it was. And so I'm trying not to swallow. So I'm walking back to the studio because Evan's back here like this. Trying not to swallow all the spit.
Oh my God. Probably drooling out your mouth. Yes, straight up.
I kept spitting drool everywhere. And I come out and I'm like, and I literally say, I have my mouth open. I don't want to close it. I go, and I had to get something in the back of my throat. And he's just like, what
Did
the
you think
heck is
about
going
getting
on?
like long tweezers?
Well,
like,
guess what happened, girl? So he took his little flashlight, and he went and got tweezers. And and by the way, I'm not great at deep throating. So the tweezer hitting the very back to try to like pull out this thing. So he had to take it, and he had to take tweezers and get to the back. It took a while because I kept like starting to choke because he had to be like precise. So he had to really get in there and pull this thing out. And it was bloody on both ends because it had penetrated both sides.
Did that hurt when he pulled it out? Did it like scrape? Like,
I didn't really feel pain because I was so freaked out. And it was like probably about that long. It was like an inch.
Sue!
Lawsuit.
Time to lawyer up.
I don't know what it is. It literally looked like a thin piece of like wood, that like a long splinter.
What on God's green earth?
It was horrible. It was a horrible 30 minutes.
Have you ever gotten a tonsil stone or like
I've never gotten
something? I don't know if I've ever gotten a tonsil stone, but I remember as a kid I got something like lodged in like a pocket, like in my tonsil.
I used to have friends who would get tonsil stones. A friend who got tonsil stones all the time,
and it smelled really bad.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was a tonsil stone. Basically, I like got something like lodged. Like I remember it being in Trader Joe's and getting a sample. Maybe it was honestly a piece of wood.
I mean, it might be.
And it was stuck in like back in my tonsil area.
Maybe it's like a stem.
I remember walking around Trader Joe's just like, and this was so me as a kid, and this is so me as an adult now, just being like, I guess I'll just suffer in silence. Like not saying like, Mom, something's stuck in my throat. Just being like, I'm in the worst pain of my life right now. Walking through Trader Joe's as a 10-year-old, just gonna play it cool, I guess. Until finally whatever it was like came out and I swallowed it. But like it was 45 minutes of like the worst pain of something in the back of my throat.
I feel like every once in a while I'll swallow something and it'll be like that sharp feeling and I'm like, oh, it was a chip and it scraped my throat on the way down. But now after literally opening my mouth and seeing wood lodged in the back of my throat, I'm like, does this happen sometimes? Like you just get like something sharp of food stuck right there or something. And I just, keep swallowing until it goes away. Anywho, that was that. It was terrible. And
Can you like touch your tongue back to like your tonsils kind of?
Mm-mm.
I can.
Do you know what I can do with my tongue though?
Can you touch your uvula with your tongue? Really? I can do it like literally right now. Just like, oh.
For real?
Uh-huh.
And you're feeling it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, absolutely not. I can't do that. My tongue doesn't curl back like that.
Let me see. Okay, this is horrible content. Dead air. Okay, so.
I can get
weird.
it to stick.
That's really weird.
I can get my tongue to fold like a sandwich and stick.
I can only do it with my teeth. No, I can't do that. Can you do the taco?
Mm-hmm.
Can you flip your tongue like? Oh yeah, okay, you can.
I can't do the clover though.
I can't either. I don't know how people do that.
Me either.
God, we're in this one together. So, all right. Some of these are extremely dark.
There are some heavy ones, that's for sure.
Like, do you ever lay at night? Does anyone else ever lay at night thinking about your own funerals or your family's funerals and just start sobbing? I just think about the speeches I'd give because I'm just kind of a narcissist.
Oh, like no, you think about the speeches that you'd give for family members?
Yes, and also think about what people might say if I die.
Okay.
Yeah. But sometimes I do think about my family members dying and I cry randomly.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like you connect to death more in that way. Like you think about that more. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't really. I think...
Really?
No.
That's funny. I thought you did the same thing.
No, I don't think about the funerals.
Oh.
I think about like tragic situations. Like accidents scare me.
I'm like really fascinated by like how people respond to grief because like, you know, at a young age I had something really traumatic and then like I also watched my neighbors who were all kids lose their mom to cancer who were like, you know, like 8, 10, 14 and like 17, all kids. And I'm just like really fascinated by it because people and kids like just don't process grief like you think they would.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's so like, even when you watch sometimes these like documentaries about like horrific situations and then, you know, it's the question mark afterwards, like who's the killer? And like, and they'll be like, well, the way that they responded to this makes it seem like they're guilty.
I hate that shit. I hate that shit.
And I'm always just like, I mean, like how, unless everyone, grief is so nuanced. It's like how.
Oh my God. When people dissect like 911 calls I've done it too myself, like listening to murder stuff, but that shit pisses me off. I'm like, you literally cannot tell.
I know personally from situations in my life. Okay, so I am the very dramatic, right?
Yes.
Like I'm very much like, oh my God, you would not believe. And so when small things happen, I can have like meltdowns and stuff. But when there's actually like something big that happens, I am very calm. And I'm very like non-emotional until, you know, it hits me maybe like a few days later or something.
Oh, I'm the same way where like I'm kind of like in the mode of just like, what do we got to do?
Yep.
Like, what do we got to do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You snap into like, when we've had like break-ins at my house before, like I'd think that I'd be like a mess, but I'm very like, okay.
When the fuck did you have break-ins? Oh no, what is this? Okay, yeah, what?
Yeah,
the fuck?
There was a couple break-ins in my childhood homes that were very scary. But I was very calm. And one of them happened when I was like 13 and alone at home babysitting my newborn sister. And I remember shocking myself because I was like, I stayed so calm. And I think about those 911 calls because I'm like, if I would have called 911, which I should have and I didn't, I would have sounded probably really calm on the phone.
Yeah.
And it would have been like, why is she so calm? It'd be like, I was literally like, it was like my brain was just, I need to fix this. I need to figure out what's going on. I need to protect my baby sister. Yeah. But we're all good. We're all good.
That's scary as shit.
Yeah, it was very scary. There's definitely been a couple stories that were really wiggy.
Okay.
Ooh. Does anyone else?
Fun. Okay. Fun. By the way, the intrusive thoughts. A lot of people wrote in about intrusive thoughts. Yes. The answer is yes, probably. Anyway, keep going.
I was saying, does anyone else stalk the people they used to be dating right after? You mean like...
Wait, what? Say that again?
They said, does anyone else stalk the people they used to be dating right after? I'm assuming you
Right
mean
after you break
social
up?
media wise. And I will say 100%. Did you not like after like you break up with somebody, like you're checking out their stuff
Depends
all the time?
on who it is. Like I've said, if I am able to usually evaluate and know how bad it's going to hurt. And if it's going to hurt too bad, I will not look. I will... Like we've talked about,
yes.
we've deleted social media to literally avoid stalking them.
I should say, if I'm in love with someone, I won't follow them after. But you know what is actually kind of embarrassing is that like when I'd have a hookup, I would definitely be like tapped into that person's social media for a while. When it was like, oh, that person meant nothing to me other than like, oh, we had a nice time together.
Oh, yeah.
We had sex the one time and we went our separate ways happily. And I will continue to check it.
I will still. There's a couple of people where I'm just like, "What are you doing? You still with that girl? Interesting." Like,
yeah, I don't know why.
There's someone I'm literally looking up right now. Yeah, just to be like, "So what you doing?"
I don't know why. Like, the people that I actually didn't have like a relationship with, I still, like you said, to this day, there are a couple people specifically in college that like. I will still look up on social media and I'm like, why? And you know what happens? Ooh, it's a rush of adrenaline. When all of a sudden I haven't checked in on those people in a long time and I think about it and I'm like, ooh,
there's going to be a lot of good new content. For
like
sure.
The rush of adrenaline. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see how many kids he has now.
Oh my God. Yeah. Cause sometimes you go on a binge where like this is kind of weird, but I'm sure, does anyone else do this? Where every like week or so, like you'll like there'll be like a 3-week spree, you say, where like once a week you'll go in and check in and see what's up.
They're in like your feed and stuff, and like they're on your search bar. So then when you pop that open, you're like, oh yeah, I guess I'll check out them.
And then you'll forget about them for like 4 months or a year or whatever, and then you think of them. And exactly, you're like, ooh, gotta go literally right now. See what they're up to.
I do that with a couple of Evan's past flings.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Never stalked any of Grayston's exes.
Really?
Not a single one. Mostly because I just can't even find them.
I'm always so fascinated because I like to check out their lives, not because in like a weird, jealous way, in a way of like,
it's just curiosity.
I wonder what Evan's life would look like if he would have been with her.
Yeah.
And like see what she's up to now. I'm like, oh my God, look at her. She's got a thriving business. God bless. Like we're out here like, you know, posting really cute content, have some kids. Like, okay, very cool, very cool. Evan might have been living here if that would have been the case. You know, blah, blah, blah. I'm very interested.
I feel that.
Alternate realities in the sense of like what your life could look like.
The choose your own adventure thing where it's like, what if you chose option C instead of
yes, if for
option
instance,
A?
Becca would have decided to go on Bachelor in Paradise, right?
Yeah, what if I hadn't had Ruth, you know?
What if you had never met Gray? And you never would have gotten pregnant with Ruth. What if you would have gone on Bachelor in Paradise pregnant with Ruth and met someone else?
What if I told Ari I wanted to come back when I met up with him?
What if? Big what ifs, baby.
Again, we're talking about that this week on Gray and Ice Recaps. That's why it's fresh in my mind. Yeah, because it is a pause. Anyway. Okay, does anyone ever else... What the fuck is it? Does anyone else... Okay, just does anyone else? Okay, I keep like saying 50 different varieties of it.
Do you ever think about... Okay. Why don't you ever have the thought of...
Oh my God. Okay. Does anyone else... I love this one. Treat their partner like shit after watching a full day of reality TV. I become one of them.
Yes.
Do you?
Oh my God, I haven't ever even thought about that. I totally do that.
Do you?
Yeah. I haven't even thought about it. I get in a full fucking attitude. I get a chip on my goddamn shoulder.
Suddenly you are a real housewife and you're being followed around by a camera crew yourself.
And I haven't thought about the fact that I like treat my partner poorly, but I do. I have an attitude on me and I'm a little bit like, I'm a little sassy with my responses and I'm kind of looking for my camera. Like I'll say a response to Evan and be a little bit like... Like someone heard that, right? Someone heard that, right? So you don't do that?
No.
Do you ever think about, I thought that I had this thought the other day.
Does anyone else?
Does anyone else? Because now I'm thinking about like my sassy responses, like post reality TV. And I had this very active thought. This is the most.
No, actually, I think I do kind of do that.
Really?
Maybe a little bit.
Just like just like that slight kind of chip where you're a little bit like, eh.
Yeah.
I had this thought the other day, and it feels so arrogant to say out loud, but here I go. I was like on a roll. You know when you have a day where you're just sharp and like boom, 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 like, and all the responses are coming.
Sure.
And I was making Evan laugh so hard. I was being so sassy all day, and I just had all these quick responses to him. And I had this thought of like, I wonder if anyone else ever thinks about like how awesome I would be as a partner to somebody else.
That is so funny, and I love that. Like, does anyone else think
Like I will think about sometimes when I'm having a really
about how good of a partner you are, just period?
No, just thinking about like, I'm making Evan laugh so hard, and I'm like so on it today that I'm like, what would another person feel like if we were in a relationship right now? Would they just be like, wow, my girl's the best? I'm sure Evan thinks that sometimes too.
And I say that sometimes to Gray because he makes it, he's still learning, mind you, you know,
sure,
he's still learning. Because sometimes he'll say things like, you know, well, blah, blah, blah's wife like doesn't even care if he goes on like a surf trip for a whole weekend.
Ooh, baby.
And then I start going fucking nuts.
Where like I lose my shit.
Where I'm like, oh, do you want me to act like blah, blah, blah's wife? You know why she probably doesn't give a fuck if he goes on a surf trip? Because she probably doesn't give a fuck about him. Do you think that she sucks his dick like I suck your dick? No, I didn't fucking think so. Do you want me acting like her? I can do more of that if you want. Go ahead, go on your surf trip. I don't give a fuck, actually.
Oh, if you want to set me the fuck off. Oh, no,
I'm like,
no,
you're
no.
going to... I can act like other people's wives. Go for it.
Oh, are we going to compare partners right now? Interesting. You want to start throwing that out? Cool. What about such and such's husband?
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Oh, you've never done a reverse?
Oh, I definitely do that too.
Okay.
No. Well, I pull that too where I'm like, oh, you know what? She probably doesn't care if he goes on vacation for 3 days. Probably because he's putting in every single fucking ounce of work he possibly can with the kids and with the home and with cooking and with cleaning in those other 5 days out of the week. You stupid bastard. Yeah.
Oh, I will. That
and be like, yeah, I'll see how she needs something. And he goes, babe, do you need me to run out to the car to get that? Sprinting to the car to get whatever she needs. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, when Evan and I first were married, I had a horrific habit of comparing myself to other people to him when we'd be arguing. So he wouldn't bring up another person. I would be like, well, you know, in comparison to our other friends' wives, da 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 da, and I would like do this whole
you'd
thing.
Bring him up,
and he always would be like, Jessica, I don't care about such and such. I'm talking about us right now. Like that's not what the conversation is. You're like distracting from like what I'm bringing up. It was really bad. It was very unhealthy. And then one day, after my constant doing that, I remember did that, and I like flipped a lid, and I'm like, oh, this isn't fun to have this done to you. But if you say such and such does this and you don't. But what did you think I meant at first when I said about if I'd be a good partner, or like if other people think about that?
I thought you meant I forgot that we were doing does anyone else? And I thought that you were saying like, do other people think about like what I would be like as a partner?
Oh, that's a good one too. I think about
someone
that.
else.
Yeah.
Like basically, does anyone ever think about what Jess would be like with this person?
Oh, for sure. I would imagine. I think about that with people all the time. One of my most favorite games.
I don't, but I like that.
One of my most favorite games with Evan when we go out to dinner. Oh my gosh, we talk so much shit when we go out to dinner. It's so fun. I think that's why we've worked together for so long.
That's me and Grayston too. Is it a Libra Aquarius thing? Because no one likes to gossip like we do.
I think that might be what it is. I really do. Because sometimes him and I look at each other and we're like, why has like through the ups and downs this really worked? We're like mutual love, no mutual hate. But it's fun to gossip together.
So I was literally just listening to an episode of This American Life yesterday where they were talking about like the boring thing because of the pandemic, especially at the beginning, was that no one was going out doing anything. So there was no gossip. So when you would catch up with a friend on the phone, you'd be like, so what's been up? And this reporter was which I so related to. She was like, yeah, I was getting really awkward with like my friends and people that I interact with over the phone. And she was like, I was trying to figure out what it was. And she was like, it was the absence of gossip. So sometimes I just started asking people like, what gossip do you have just about anyone, even people I don't know?
Ooh,
and I started doing that with one of my friends from Fresno too, just being like, so any drama going on in your friends' lives? Yeah, that's what's great about reality TV.
See, you're right. It's the beauty of reality TV, because then you're not talking shit on actual people
anyone you know. And it's a fairly healthy bonding experience.
Yes, you're not like actually talking smack on people, the individuals who are like in your lives.
Right, but Gray and I do that too.
Yes. That's what it...
And psychoanalyzing, we love to do that.
Oh, so one of like our most favorite things to do is we will like sit around and like have our dinner together, and we'll talk about like what would have happened if these two, because listen, a lot of our friends we all got married really young, and we had like a big friend group and everyone intermarried. And so we remember like, oh, that one time such and such secretly hooked up with that person and they ended up getting married right after that person. And what if they would have been together and now they're here, and we always just do that. It's so fun.
I need to start thinking about that more often, because I've actually never thought about like, what if you were with someone else?
Yeah,
Have you ever thought about that with me?
About if you were with someone else?
Yeah, like anyone in particular?
No, I think about if you were single a lot. Because
Me too.
Just like, you just go to a different space.
My body starts floating. Just drift off like a balloon.
What is it, you're astral projecting into your single space?
You know what? Honestly, though, I swear to God, I've always been. This is what was so funny about my season of The Bachelor. Is like I've never been like a party person or anything. Like in college, I was always just kind of like, yeah, I could go do that, like, or I could just go home. Like I'm kind of like that, honestly, most of the time. And occasionally I'll have like a little bout of like, woo! But most of the time I'm just like,
yeah.
But I'm not a night person. Do you know that?
No,
I'm
I know
a day
you're not.
person.
Yeah, you're not a night person.
If you want to hit me up and be like, today, let's go on a boat, let's go on the harbor, let's get drunk, and then we're gonna go do this, and then we're gonna go do this, all before 9 p.m.
And that can make
Dude,
it.
I'm in.
And you know what is tragic about being a parent in that way is that shit just can't happen anymore.
I can't.
That's where I astral project. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I remember when we would like day drink and like hang out by the beach and just have a big group of friends, and then you'd end up like going back to someone's house eating, and I'd be asleep by 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Now it's like the day the fun times have to start at like 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know? That's the only thing where you and I are off in that way. Your day, and I go late night.
But as my kids get older, I'm dragging them along for the fucking ride. And I'd be like, yeah, mommy and daddy are going to go to the beach all day. Mommy and daddy are going skinny dipping in the ocean. JK!
Oh my God.
But anyway. Yeah. I'm just not a night person, so it's hard for me.
Yeah, no, I love the night.
You are a night person. You're a woman of the night.
I'm a woman of the night. If I'm like going out, I will be out until 7 in the morning.
Yeah. I would like to start at 7 in the morning.
Yeah. I like the way I look at night.
In the darkness, under the shadow of the night.
I just like dressing up for the night. I like
that.
I like nighttime makeup. Like it's like
the night gives me anxiety. I think I'm like scared of the dark.
Really?
Not really, but like.
But I get evening, you get nervous.
Whenever I'm but it's fun. Sometimes like anxious excitement is fun. But whenever I'm going out or like anything and I'm getting ready and my hands are all shaky and I can't eat because I'm so nervous.
But are you nervous about the night, or are you nervous about the nighttime socialization? The dance of the night.
Not actually like the moon, like being out in the dark. Like I'm not actually like scared of the night. Like I'm not like, it's not like I'm at night, I'm just in my house like not looking out the windows. No, it's just like nighttime activities. It's just like sort of this anxious excitement of like, who knows what shit's gonna go down, and like nothing good what they say, like nothing good happens after midnight or whatever.
Is it midnight?
I don't know. Nothing good happens after 2 a.m.
Nothing good happens after 4 a.m.
Nothing good happens after 5 a.m. You just keep pushing it. No, like nothing happens. I don't know. Just like when night is weird, it's unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen.
Oh, I It's true. Sometimes the late nights can get a little rough. They can be a little unpredictable. Your phone can die, and you can not have someone around you who also has a life.
Oh my God, yeah.
I got stuck outside an apartment building once at 6:30 in the morning, and my phone was dead, and I'd like walked a girlfriend to her Uber.
Oh my God, you just triggered a memory. Go ahead.
Really?
Yes.
I walked my girlfriend to her Uber, put her in her Uber, and was going back up to the apartment, and it was someone's apartment. Like I wasn't friends with the person. I was just like there for like a house party or something. And I try to go back in, and everything's locked. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And I like grab my phone, and my phone's dead. And there is no one out. Like it is dead. Maybe it was like 5:30 in the morning. It was so quiet. And I'm trying to get in, like, in any way possible back into this apartment. And I'm like, how is there no nighttime security around this apartment? I don't understand. Everything's fully locked. And I sat on the curb, and I was like, I guess I just have to wait until the sun comes up, and I can, like, I don't know, hail a taxi. Like, I don't have a phone charger. And I didn't know where I was, so I didn't know who to walk to. So I finally ended up, there was an Amazon delivery guy that showed up, I think, at like 30 minutes later, 45 minutes later, and I begged him to let me in. And man, this man definitely could have lost his job for letting me into this apartment, but he got me back in. And I walked back into the apartment. Everyone was still partying, and I was just like, "You guys, I got stuck." And I was a little bit like freaked out. And they were like, "Cool." And I'm like, anybody else?
We don't care.
They're like, we don't know who you are. You just sent your one mutual friend home in an Uber. Oh, no. And I literally went back up to the apartment to charge my phone so that I could like call an Uber to come get me.
One time when I first moved to LA, I was... Where the fuck did I live? I don't know where I lived at the time. Oh, I know what it was. It was when I first moved, and I was staying with a family that I used to nanny for in Newport. And I had gone out in LA, and my parents were vacationing in LA, so they were renting a place. So like they said that I could come spend the night there.
Okay.
But basically I was out until 4 a.m.
Okay.
And then I drove to their house that they were renting, and like no one was awake and everything was locked. And I was like calling everyone in the house, and everyone's phone was off. So I ended up just sleeping in it's not that wild, but I just ended up sleeping in my car in the driveway of the house that they were in, all inside. No.
That makes me
I was in
anxious
like
when I'm locked out of my house, though.
Yeah.
I get all wigged out. I don't like that at all.
All right, should we take a pause?
Let's take a quick pause.
Okay, speaking of being a parent.
Speaking of parent, being out until 7 a.m, no matter what your parenting style is. I think it's safe to say that there is a universal fear about your little ones missing learning milestones. I know I feel this intensely, especially during these current times. Let me just say the fear is very valid. It's normal to want to make sure your kiddo is on track when it comes to early learning. Lately, I've been relying on Homer to help me make sure my daughter is engaged in learning, but more importantly, having fun while learning. And if you have young learners in your life, you need to give Homer a try. You have heard me sing the praises of Homer, cry talking about Homer. Yeah. I love them so much.
Homer is the essential early learning program for kids 2 to 8 that pairs their interests and learning level to make a personalized program that keeps them excited and engaged in the learning process and grows with them as they master new skills. All of Homer's products are proven to be effective, so much so that just 15 minutes a day is shown to increase reading scores by 74%.
It's pretty amazing. I've seen my daughter's confidence in learning increase so much after we started using Homer consistently, and I love the program more than others I've seen in the past because it's really comprehensive. They have learning activities across subject areas that are important to school, but also important in life. Everything from reading and math to social emotional learning, creativity, thinking skills. And because the lessons are so custom to each child's interest, it doesn't even feel like a task. I swear my daughter thinks Homer lessons are just these super fun games she gets to play. It makes it so easy to help her learn.
Visit learnwithhomer.com/chatty to start a free 60-day trial today. Again, to start your free 60-day trial, visit learnwithhomer.com/chatty.
Broads, it's no secret that everything can affect your sex life, from jam-packed schedules to hormonal changes to being a parent, like we were talking about before, to low libido, stress at work. There's a lot of factors that can potentially work against you when it comes to having the sex life that you're wanting. And I have to tell you about the one thing that is always a go-to for me. You know we love it here at Chatty Broads. It is O-Shot.
Oh my God, love this stuff.
CBD fused or infused arousal oil developed by women. Omax O-Shot is the definition of a game changer when it comes to sexual pleasure.
Oh my God, by the way, so I love their O-Shot arousal oil, but did you know that O-Shot now has a water-based lube that you can use with condoms? They sent me some, and it's amazing because, okay, I feel like people are going to think we just always say this, but with water-based lubes, I've always had burning with those in particular.
Yeah.
No, this one doesn't burn either. It's just as amazing as the arousal oil. So O-Shot, for both their oil lube and their water-based lube, is incredible.
Okay, keep talking. I'm ordering.
I am so like, seriously, and it comes in a much bigger bottle too. It's awesome. I love it. I've been using that one like all the time lately. Anyway, let's talk about this though, broads, because O-Shot is kind of amazing. It contains 8 natural and organic botanicals to increase stimulation, lubrication, desire, and, to put it simply, all areas of sexual satisfaction are targeted and improved with O-Shot. A lot of arousal oils are filled with synthetic ingredients that either don't work, have a weird smell, or even worse, could have crazy side effects or cause reactions like I was talking about. Not with O-Shot though. 100% natural, 100% chemical free, and 100% edible. That's a win-win-win.
All right, it is officially in my shopping cart. All you have to do is apply 3 to 4 pumps of O-Shot when things are starting to get hot and heavy, by yourself, with a partner, whatever. And immediately you'll start to feel these stimulating effects that will last up to 60 minutes. And speaking to you all as friends, because you are our friends, you don't want to skip out on this one. It is an OMG life-changing. It's the best. We promise. We promise.
Whether you're single or if you're looking to spice up your relationship with more satisfying sex, O-Shot comes to the rescue and provides heightened sexual sensations, which can give you the instant and long-lasting satisfaction you've been looking for. And it's 100% edible and natural. Remember, go to oshotcbd.com, enter code Chatty to take advantage of this incredible savings. That's OSHOT CBD.com and enter code Chatty to get 20% off site-wide. OSHOTCBD.com.
All right.
It's so awesome.
It's so awesome. And speaking of sexy sex, what about, does anyone else never have sex dreams of their partner and only of past lovers?
Same. Yep. Me.
I don't often, I've had a handful of sex dreams about Evan. Everyone else is kind of, I don't have past
like
lovers.
Randoms.
They're just randoms.
Yeah. Like sometimes anonymous people and sometimes people you know. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes mine are just like people, like a random person. I've definitely had a number of like random people.
I will say often the people who are not just anonymous or famous.
But do you have anonymous ones?
Yes, I have anonymous all the time. Occasionally a famous person. If I've been like watching a show, I think a lot or something. But a lot of times people, it makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah. The people you don't want to be having sex dreams with.
Right. And when we had the dream analyst on, she was talking about how typically sex dreams aren't actually like
sexual desire.
Right. So I'm like, okay, that helped me feel better, because often I'm like,
I know I've had some ones with like siblings and like weird shit like that. And you're like,
ew. Like, why in God's name? I have like them all the time with random like people in our lives, like one of my parents' friends. And I'm like, where the fuck did that come from, dude? Like, that is not, no, I am not. And then I feel so weird the next morning when you're
self-conscious.
Like, yeah, I'm like, I want to tell my partner about who I just had the sex dream about, but I also think that they'll be weirded out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, feel that for sure. Exes. Yeah, one ex in particular, I will have periods of time. I'm just like over it now. I'm just like, well, that's the thing, I guess. I have dreams all the time. Yeah, either like sex. I have 2 of my exes. I have sex dreams with them fairly often. But then the one part ex in particular, not necessarily sex, but like I'll have dreams about him and his girlfriend all the time. Like for like years now, I'll have dreams of them.
Him and his girlfriend. Like, what about them?
Oh, I've had so many dreams of like where I find out that he actually loves me and not his girlfriend.
For real.
And I'm like, oh, I feel so bad for her. Salacious. Like in my dream. And I'm like, wake up and I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, I don't know. I just, at this point, I used to really overthink and be like, oh my God, am I actually supposed to be with him? And now I'm just like, I do whatever.
I don't know. Maybe
this is like, I moved on.
Maybe this is like I don't know, people might be like, oh, don't negate your dreams. But I think a lot of times, I think when a dream has a purpose behind it.
Maybe it's still like, honestly, it's probably just my subconscious maybe still processing stuff about like, I tell Gray a lot like, oh, I miss him in my life as a person.
Yeah.
I don't want to like break up with Grayson and get with him.
No, but you have that.
So maybe
feeling.
it's my subconscious processing. Like, I think sometimes your subconscious is processing things with your dreams. So maybe it's processing like him not being in my life. And maybe sometimes I still miss him that way. And then it's like, I don't know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I just don't overthink it anymore. I'm like, whatever, keep working through it, I guess, subconscious. But yeah.
Oh my God, this one. Oh my God. This one is the tea.
What?
Does anyone else hate their boyfriend's best friend / their in-laws?
Okay, I saw this one and I was like,
okay.
My answer is no. I don't hate any of Grayson's friends or any of his in-laws at all. Because I'm perfect.
You're perfect.
Yeah, I'm perfect.
They're like, they just enhance my life, and I know I enhance theirs.
I definitely have. I mean, actually, though, I love all of Grayson's friends and family members. I have had an ex before where I was like, if we get married or some shit, like, your family's coming with you, and this is going to be a battle of the women, specifically the women. There was an ex for the women in his life. I was like,
we're gonna this is going to be rough.
toe.
Okay, yeah. Maybe a little bit of a Barb situation.
Yeah.
Okay, understood. I did not like Evan's best friend when we first started dating. He was like in our friend group, but him and I rubbed each other the wrong way. Like, we are opposite human beings. And especially back then, we were more extreme, I think, in our isms. And so we would always be getting on each other's nerves, and we were always talking shit about the other one to Evan, poor guy. And it was always just like, I was just like, fucking he, blah, blah, blah. And then like his friend was always just like, dude, your girl, da, 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 da. And like, we would just, it was constantly a problem. And then one day I was just like, I'm pushing my boyfriend away by like, I'll say this. I didn't like his best friend wasn't problematic. So that's a big difference. If you have a best friend, or if your like partner's best friend is like,
there's issues
and they're like bringing influences into your partner's life that like you don't think are healthy. That's one thing. But I was just like, he pisses me off because he's this way, and I just don't like it. But I finally like one time was like, hey, I don't know why we rub each other the wrong way. Like, I mean, we're just super different. You? Oh yeah. Oh no, I knew that he couldn't stand me, and he knew I couldn't stand him. And I finally was just like, listen, this is super awkward, but like, I don't hate you, but like, we just really bother each other.
This ain't working.
This is not working. We're really bugging each other. And he was like, yeah, you really bug me too. And I'm like, okay, well, we can just both know that we really bug each other, and like, but we love Evan, so it is what it is. And now he's one of my most favorite people in the world.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
But that was a journey of like 13, 14. Well, I guess, I mean, I've now been friends with him, or I've known him now. I've been together for like 14, 15 years. And what was crazy is when Evan and I broke up, him and I had gotten to a point where we were actually starting to become good friends, that when Evan and I broke up, he was an awesome support system for me. And he would like check in on me regularly. Aww. And we'd have our little Zoom sessions because we lived in different areas. He'd be like,
and you're like, we totally slept together like
we
3 or 4
hooked
times.
up many times. No, but it was like this like non-sexual, there was like he
you guys
was
had
like
formed a bond.
And he was like a piece of Evan that I was still able to, and he was very always respectful about not bringing up Evan, because I would be like, don't tell me about Evan, I don't want to know, it's gonna make me anxious. And then and now we're great. And he actually just moved. He's been gone for years, and he just moved to Los Angeles like a month ago. I'm so excited. But, and then as far as in-laws go, I will say this, I'm really not going to get into it, but I love my in-laws a lot. I was very close with my in-laws for a very long time. We have some differences, inherent differences, and we try to go about them differently. And so it is a journey. And it was really rough for a couple years. And I think we're finally coming to a place where there is starting to be a little bit of an understanding of like, agree to disagree a little bit. I don't really know. I'm still trying to figure it out, but we love each other.
Very diplomatic of you.
It's just, it can be, it's been a rough road in some ways for sure.
2 that I want to go over.
Okay.
Actually 3, but 2 are kind of go hand in hand. Okay. Does anyone else mute people on social media because you're jealous of them?
1,000,000%.
Yes.
It's such a good it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Right?
I have people like the people that I'm jealous of who I mute, like people would probably be really surprised at. I'm not going to say.
I was going to say, I'm like, are you about
not tell you, but I don't want to like make a thing by talking about the people. Yeah. But it's mostly just like, there are some people that I feel mildly jealous of, like about their real life.
Yeah.
Like, but they sort of inspire me to like live more of the life I want to live, so I don't mute them. But then there's some people where I'm more just like jealous of the life that they portray on Instagram, even though I know that I don't want to switch lives with them, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like I'm sort of jealous of like how people perceive them on their Instagram, which is probably like an influencer thing.
Yeah, sure. I think I think that's beyond influencer. I think people have people in their lives where they know that the way that they put things out there on Instagram is not necessarily like 100% accurate, and they will get a lot of praise or love for stuff, and you're like, I know behind the scenes it's not like that. And it's almost like agitating to be like, well, I feel like I'm doing a good job too, and I'm not getting any sort of accolades, and like yeah.
Okay. Yep. That's a good way of explaining it.
But I think it is so true, because I feel the same way. The people who I've muted on mine, who I feel jealous of, it's a complex feeling, because it's not actually people who I necessarily
you want to be living their life.
Yeah. It's not people who I'm like, oh my God, I am inspired by them and I wish I was like them. Like those people I keep very active and I keep up with.
Respond to them and all those things.
Yeah. You know, oh God, this is so embarrassing. Oh well, whatever. I'll just put it out there. The people who I tend to mute more are people who are like maybe from my past, not like who I like actually like have relationships with sometimes. Not like people who are like good friends of mine now, but like past people in my life who I did have relationships with, who like it agitates me. I don't know. Maybe if jealousy is not the right word. It might be though.
Agitation is, I think, a really good way of describing it.
It like when I see their stories pop up, I feel a certain like sort of way that doesn't feel healthy.
Yeah.
So I feel like I should just mute it.
Like a fixation on something about them that doesn't quite mesh.
Yeah.
Now, but then on the other side, someone says, does anyone else continue to follow people that piss you off on social media because you like getting mad at them? And I 100% have a couple of those accounts.
Yeah, me too.
Where everything they do annoys me and I love to see it.
Yeah. I don't follow a lot of, I don't really follow anybody who agitates me, but I will regularly look on their Instagram, but I refuse to do the follow out of pride.
Okay, there's a couple people though who I've followed, and then over time it has developed into a hatred of them.
God, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's true. Like when, I hear you.
Develops and you see a side of them where you're just like, I hate you. And then you can't help but just continue. And you know what I have to say?
And then the unfollow, like that's like a move. Especially if like you know the person.
Well, not to mention, like a lot of times it's like the gossipy kind of hate where you send to a friend and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Can you believe this bitch has the audacity to post this?
Yeah. No, I hear you.
And I don't know how to describe it. It's not like a jealousy. It's just sort of like an ignition of like, it's like how people hate follow politics, you know, where people like, where people, I know like one of my in-laws is like this, where she like hates Donald Trump, but is like, but was like obsessed with him, like had to read every story about Donald Trump, where I was like, why are you Why are you doing this?
Let me tell you something. I recently had to delete my Facebook because
you were rage following.
So obviously I started my Facebook 100 years ago, right? And so pretty much everybody that I had followed was, because I wasn't ever active on it. So everyone that I had followed was very much like from my past, and a lot of that past included like church, Baptist University, all of those people who a lot of them like are great. I love them, whatever. But there were a few people, and what happened was I hopped back on Facebook for a minute because of some Chatty Bros stuff, and I ended up then seeing my feed, and I hadn't been on my Facebook in like 2 years, and I looked on my feed, and there was a specific individual that I became obsessed with because the things that they were posting.
So just recently, like when you saw it, just when you logged on, you became obsessed.
Yes, in like the past, like in like the past eight months, I was so obsessed, and everything they were posting enraged me so much. I'm screenshotting everything they're posting and sending it to Evan and be like, "Can you fucking believe this disgusting bullshit?" And I am seething, like sending it to my family. Did you see? And and I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop going on and looking at it.
Different, yeah.
And I like to the point where Evan was like, this is like so bad for you. Like you are, all you're thinking about is this person who, by the way, like you barely know, like you haven't seen in years, and you have this like fixation to I deleted my Facebook.
Good.
Because I was like, I can't, like I don't have the willpower to just not log on, and I also don't have the willpower to unfollow this person or to mute them, because it was hitting all of the things in me that just wanted to like rage out on something.
Okay, so actually I take it back. I'm backtracking a little bit. I don't actively follow anyone that I like that makes me seethe like that. I can't. I have to unfollow. I have to. Or mute. But it's more the people that I like to keep up with are the people who just annoy me. Like it's
sure.
like I am picking apart the subtleties of the way that they annoy me. Like they're not actually doing anything wrong, but every way they do the way that they do things
just bugs.
I'm just like, but why does she word it like that? And I kind of like am sort of obsessed with like finding things that annoy me about what they do, which probably isn't unhealthy either. But I'm gonna keep doing it because it's fun for me. So
it adds a little,
on it, bitches.
It adds a little spark of joy
to my day. It does. It sparks joy in me. It sparks joy in me.
It's kind of like we were talking about with like the gossip stuff a little bit, right?
Where I'm just like, oh my God, can you believe?
Yeah. I mean,
oh my God, do you know who I started following? Kelly Dodd, and she is horrific.
Oh.
I haven't watched seasons of Orange County in forever.
The most recent season of Orange County is so bad, Becca.
Who does she think she is?
Dude, I think that they're going to kick her off the show. I really hope they do.
They should. She's disgusting. She's vile. She's got her head so far up her own ass. The shit she's posting on Instagram, like posting, like reposting, like, you know, like Us Weekly articles about other cast members just being like, just like this bitch to do something like that. Like,
No. It's well, and also
she's
like
out of her goddamn mind.
Yeah, it was so bad that like the most recent season she was on, it was like despicable. It got very racist. Like it was really bad. She's a nightmare. So yeah, I don't actually follow anyone that I like that. Because I have no idea. But I do like to randomly like my search bar right now is probably a bunch of people who
didn't they stop doing that? And I'm really glad.
What do you mean?
No, they didn't. Oh, they took away the thing where it would be top searches. Remember when in your search bar you could see the top people that you've searched?
Oh, that is so embarrassing, by the way.
I hated that, and they don't do that anymore, thank God.
Oh, quick question. Does anyone else hide their phone? Like, or get paranoid when someone says like, "Oh, can I see your Instagram quick?" And they're about to see
their name in the search bar, or someone else's name,
or someone else that like maybe they know or something, and they're about to see that your top search is like their, you know, best friend, and they're like, "Why are you looking at my best friend?" And you're like, "Ugh." I know the certain people in my life who tend to be like, "Let me see your phone. I want to show you something on Instagram." And before I go and hang out with them, I will sometimes legit remember to like erase my search bar history because I don't want them seeing it.
Straight up. I feel you.
Yeah. The horror.
Feel you hard.
The
Oh yeah, because I stalk some people like obsessively.
Yes. There are a few people on my search bar as I look right now that I'm embarrassed by. Like truly. Yeah. Oh gosh, I can't even. It makes me feel.
We can't go there. I'm sure everyone else feels the same way though.
Yeah, I'm not. Sorry, broads. I'm not telling you who's on my search bar right now. That is the.
You can tell me after.
I feel shame.
But tell me after.
I will.
Okay.
Oh, this is an interesting one. Does anyone else use their hair to floss as a last resort?
I only recently learned about this like in the past year.
Honestly, this kind of just changed my life. I had never thought about it, and now I'm like actually very grateful.
Yeah.
And I'm sure random people will be
hard when you have short hair though. To like get it wrapped around your fingers.
I forget that I have short hair.
I know.
That's going to be impossible. I can pull the hair up very easy. The alopecia makes it very easy to get a few strands of hair at once here, but like actually getting it in, I'll have to use Ember's hair.
Oh my God. I just got so validated. Does anyone else sleep with your hand in your pants or touch your vagina in a non-sexual comforting way?
Dude, I sleep all night, every night with my hand in my pants.
Or
if I grab my vagina.
Me too.
I cup it.
Yes,
all night.
Me too.
Other people do that shit.
Yeah. And I used to as a kid too. Like not touching myself. I would just literally be like.
No, you stick it in and then you it's warm.
Just as like it's a comforting thing. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's like you cup it and it's warm. I sit like this too, right? I sit with my hands like this. But I always have my hands down my pants when I sleep.
Well, I don't wear pants, but yeah.
I have my hands down my sweats when I sleep. But through my 12 layers. Also, I always typically grab my boobs. It's I'm either grabbing my boobs or I'm
I've definitely done that too.
Pants.
I also like always in winter put my hands in the back of my pants to sit on like my butt because my hands are so cold.
That is really cute because my Nana, my classic Nana move, and we always laugh because the woman has the largest breasts you've ever seen, like natural breasts, and has no hips and her little bird legs. And she walks around in her little jeans, my little 9-year-old, like this all day. The hands like this. And she's always standing like this.
That is so cute.
And it's so cute. And my sister, when my sister was little, she'd always be like so embarrassed. Like, oh my God, my friends are over and Nana's walking around with her hands in her pants. Like she's grabbing her butt all the time. It's so cute.
That is so cute.
It's adorable.
I love it. I do the same thing.
But it's warm. It's warm. It's very warm.
Oh my God, I do this one all the time. Is anyone else worry you perceive colors completely different than everyone else? Like, is my red your blue?
I've never had that thought once.
Oh my God, I've thought about that so many times.
Like, are you
like, okay, so if I teach you that as a kid that this color is blue and this color is green.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to have the same names for shit, but what if you're seeing things totally differently? Like I'm seeing this as blue, but like what if the color that I'm actually seeing is like what everyone else sees as like a red? Like what if are you
worried that people have tricked you when they taught you colors or that your vision?
My eyes there's no way to test if your eyes are seeing color in a completely different way because you're going to learn the names for all these different shades. But like, what if your eyes are there's no way to know if other people's eyes are seeing the colors the same exact way.
But wouldn't you know by now?
No, because you'd have the same names for everything. That's white, that's green, that's blue, that's brown.
Oh, so you're worried that we're all getting it wrong.
No, that like, what if I perceive colors differently? Like, okay, like if you put on
I understand what you mean. Oh, yeah.
Like if I put on a pair of glasses and it turned everything like a different color.
Yes.
Like let's say it turned like this red and this blue, whatever. As a child would still be taught that this color's blue and this color's green.
But it would be a different color
even though I'm
you.
Seeing it in a totally different color scheme than you are.
Yes.
And so I'm wondering, I wonder sometimes like, do we see color or do I see color like in a completely different way than everyone else around me? But I just don't know. And there's no way for me to know.
That is so wild. I have never thought about that once in my whole life. And now I'm going to be thinking about it all the time.
I can't believe that. That's so interesting that you've never thought that. I've thought that a ton. And so has this person.
Never had that thought once in my whole life.
Weird.
That's bizarre.
But yeah, it is a weird thing to think about, right?
No,
like what if all people are purple or actually purple, but what if my eyes perceive them as, tan?
But now I'm thinking about this when I get dressed. like the color combos that I'll put together.
But it doesn't, I mean, ultimately, we're thinking you're putting together a green shirt with blue pants.
Yeah.
With tan shoes.
Right.
But you just might be seeing it in a whole other way. And there's no way to know. There's no way to know.
I think about that in like different ways, like not with colors, but like if like I think I'm really smart and no one else does.
Yeah, you and I have talked about this before, and we're like, what if we're really, really stupid? And then we're like, okay, either we have a whole massive crew of stupid people who are into us.
I have a huge fear
of being completely unself-aware.
Yes, it's one of my biggest fears is like being like hanging out in a crew of people and thinking I really charmed them and then finding out later that they really disliked me and thought I was really annoying. Like that's one of my greatest fears.
I actively think about that when I'm in social settings.
Really?
Yes, a lot. I'm like, I'm annoying this person. I'm probably annoying this person so much. Oh my God.
So you think about it. See, I don't think about it until after.
No, I think about it during.
I think about it after.
When we went out to the comedy club, I kept thinking like, oh my God, what if everyone secretly thinks I'm annoying?
And I thought about how I thought the whole time I was super charming. And then later that night, I was like, oh my God, what if literally everyone was like, that girl, don't ever let her back. She was the most annoying.
That's horrible to think about.
I mean,
the truth is it's probably always somewhere in the middle.
Probably.
It's probably like there's some people that are kind of like, you know what I learned about this? So I got together like a number of people one time for a birthday party.
Interesting.
And I asked, and it was like my party with a bunch of different girlfriends that didn't know each other.
Yes.
So then I was asking all the different girlfriends like, hey, like who was your like favorite person and least favorite person in the group? I was like a social experiment.
Yes.
And by golly gee, almost everyone had a different answer.
Fascinating.
For the person that
they liked the most and then liked the least.
Very surprising to me. Like to me in my mind, there's a clear thing in my mind of who's the most annoying and who's the least annoying. You know?
Uh-huh.
And everyone had a different answer.
Uh-huh.
And was like, man, I just did not vibe with her. Or like, I thought she was, and then this person I thought was really cool. And I was just like, wow, we all perceive people so differently. So I'm sure when you feel that way, there's probably someone in the room that thought you were the most annoying in the room. And there's probably someone else that was like, I would love to spend a week with that girl.
Yeah, no, it's so interesting. It's like, no, it's such an interesting thing to think about because.
And then of course there's people sometimes that everyone in the room hates, but I don't think that's ever you.
Well, I appreciate that. But I think there's this like obsession with like whatever my personality type is that like I feel like I need everyone in the room to like me.
I struggle with the same thing.
And it's so annoying, right? And you're just like, why do I care what this person...
I'm never going to see this person again.
And I think it also... I do think there's also... Obviously, there's so many people in this whole world with different personality types who really care about what... Like, they really want everyone in the room to like them. But I think you and I both have very strong personalities, especially when we're in a group. So there's like sometimes even more... It feels like a very active fear of like... There will be someone in the room who loves us and someone in the room who hates us. We are not personalities that are kind of just like chilling. We're strong personalities.
Yeah, believe it or not, there have been some times in my life where I've been so anxious, I just literally have not said anything in the group. And I've come off as the most quiet person in the world.
Really?
Yeah,
because I've never seen you like that before.
No, sometimes. Well, maybe it's because I feel comfortable around you. It's usually there's like no, it can go one of two ways. I have to make an active, conscious choice. If I'm in a room full of a bunch of people I don't know, I choose in that moment, am I going to flip it on and we're going to go?
Okay.
Or am I going to shut it down and I'm going to sit here and smile and laugh at what everyone has to say?
Okay. That makes sense to me. I see. I'm wired in the way that like I get so anxious. This is something that's really annoying about me, and I can't stand it about myself. I can't be the quiet one sitting and watching everybody interact. It makes me feel anxious. Like I feel like
that's how Gray is.
Yeah, I'm like I feel like I'm not contributing to this conversation, and like you are gonna like feel like anytime there's any sort of awkward pause, I feel the pressure to have to fill it.
That's what Gray talks about this all the time. You guys would really connect on this because Gray is always like, I don't. Yeah,
And he feels like he can't just like sit. Interesting.
Not a single pause. His mom is the same way. Like, just can't have a pause.
It's I like it's an active thing I can't stand about myself, because in the moment I will fill the pause. I will want to, and I'll also want to be the person who just sits and doesn't say anything and like just enjoys the conversation. And I like just sitting and enjoying the conversation. But unless I am very, if we're talking like best friends, I have no problem being quiet. But like in a room full of people, in a group of them I don't really know well or don't know at all, I can't. It can lend itself to embarrassing situations, or at least for me afterwards, where I'm just like, girl, I know that you did not shut up the whole time, or you were really coming off really strong. And I'm sure a lot of people were very annoyed, but I just feel like I have to.
Great does the same thing. Yeah, if anything, if I'm really anxious, I will go
and just shut down.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And I'll just go like this to people I meet, like, yeah, and we'll do a couple back and forth, and it'll be like,
that throws me off so much, because I've never been in that situation with you before, because I've only really ever been around either our mutual friends or your friends, and I'm like meeting your friends.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a time where I'm just like,
I would love to see the situation.
I hate it. I hate being in that mode. But in that moment, I'm just like, Gray talked about this when I met one of his ex-girlfriends, actually. And he was just like, wow, I'm so impressed. You just seemed so cool, because you just like didn't have to say anything. And you just let her sit there and talk. And you were just silent while she was just talking. And I was like, I was just afraid of looking stupid. So
you then just like didn't say anything.
If I'm really afraid of looking stupid and I'm nervous around someone, it's like this with guys that I have a really big crush on, or like
okay,
or like famous people, or like anything like that. I'm just like, I just won't say anything, because anything I say is going to be stupid.
Yeah.
And then it probably comes off to people like I think I'm better than them, or like I think I'm cool.
And you're just
nervous. Literally
so
nervous. I'm just like, I don't want to fuck up, so I'm just not going to say anything.
Like, the only way that I can relate to that is when it comes to someone I have a crush on. If I actually like someone, I'm really quiet.
It's a particular kind of crush for me. It's like if I'm like obsessed with someone. If I'm obsessed with someone, then I'm just like,
if I'm running into a celebrity who I have like a massive crush on, I won't say a single word to them.
How often does that happen?
Never. It's in my fantasies.
Okay.
It doesn't, but it's happened a couple times where I'm like, I have like such like massive hots for you. Your face looks so confused.
I'm sorry.
Something you're reading.
Someone said this. Does anyone else? Apparently, you're supposed to throw away underwear every 6 to 9 months. So who else doesn't do it?
Girl, I saw that.
6 to 9 months?
I had no idea.
Try 6 to 9 years.
Yeah, I've had the same pair of underwear like for like 12 years.
Yeah, there's definitely been a pair of underwear or two that I've had since high school.
Yeah, I mean, I wash them all the time, but like,
that's bullshit.
With throwing away a pair of underwear 6 to 9 months, I thought that was like something like a toothbrush.
I've heard that too. Also keep my toothbrushes for a good 2 years.
I keep my toothbrushes for a long time. Until there's no bristles left.
There's like 3 you're brushing your teeth with.
I'm really getting it good, baby. Yeah, that doesn't seem right to me with the underwear, but maybe like everyone else does this and we're the only ones.
Yeah, I have to like, in fact, the other day I had to consciously remind myself, like, you have to buy new socks, because I've just been wearing mismatched hodgepodge pairs of socks for like 2 years now. And I was like, no, honey, it's time to buy a new 6-pack of socks.
I don't think I can remember the last time I wore socks that matched, or socks that were the same size. Like I'll have one like little ped sock and then one like high sock.
It's like both you and I, we have so many goddamn clothes. It's like you'd think you have everything you need there, right? Same thing with my kids' clothes. The shit that Frank and Ruth like walk around in and that we go out of the house in, like,
my mom used to judge me so hard for how I would dress my child, because she was always just she would never match.
The hair is kind of like,
it was always kind of a little raggedy.
Same.
And like Ember's face definitely is always dirty. And her hands are always dirty. Yeah. And I'm just like,
dirty fingernails. And my mom was like, rat nest in the back of the hair.
Yeah. Would come back and she'd be like, did you guys just get back from playing in the dirt at the park? And I'd be like, no, we were home.
Okay, I'm glad that you feel the same way. Because, like, I see some of these moms' social media with their hair, with their kids all slicked back into perfect little ponies with little matching hair ties and shit like that. Knee-high socks with, like, little, like, baby Air Force Ones. And I'm like, wow.
No. First of all, I'm not spending a lot of money
for something you're gonna grow out in 2 days.
No, I'm like, if you want to, like, if it sparks,
if it's a hobby for you,
if it sparks joy for you, buying your children like really
dressing them up in little
shoes,
outfits,
I would rather spend that money on myself, my own shoes, and then one day we'll get those nice things for Ember.
I mean,
but at the end of the day, all that Ember wants me to buy her is costumes, and she wears costumes every single day.
And the way I see it with the dirtiness, I'm like, I don't know. To me, I'm like, my kid is happy though. So like,
yeah.
Why do you care what they look like? My kid looks nasty and dirty all the time, but also, she's really happy.
Also, everyone always messages me because anytime I post with Ember in the morning or evening, she's wearing the same shirt. And everyone's always just like,
you better believe, let that shit roll over.
Well, here's the thing. But I when I say every day, I mean every single day for the past like 4 years, she's been wearing the same shirt when she wakes in the morning, goes to bed at night, and everyone's just like, wow, does she have like a rotating like 12 of these? And I just want to let everybody know, yes, she has the same like 12 of the same shirts, and then she will always get more because it is my uncle's soap company. He's starting this kid's soap line, and so he gives her all these shirts and she loves them, and it's the same one, and so that's all, she wears it to bed every night. It's her comfy bed shirt.
Now I like want to find it. Anyway,
it's always in my Insta stories.
That's so
Zoopy Zoom
funny.
But yeah.
Oh, but do you ever do the thing where like if it's not a sleep shirt and she goes to bed in it and she wears you let her wear the next day, throw on a new pair of pants?
She though doesn't like that. She didn't used to care. Now she's very specific about when she gets ready in the morning, she needs to put her makeup on. She puts like 12 rings on her fingers.
Girl, Ruth does like 4 outfit changes a day.
Yeah, it's like you got like, oh my Lord, like it takes so long for them to go in and out of clothes. And she wants a specific shoe depending on like who she's necessarily going to see. Like they saw me in that shoe. And I'm like, I don't feel like I speak this way in front of her. I feel like maybe this is just something that's like,
I don't think Ruth's on that plane of consciousness yet, but it's like she will put on a pair of shoes. We'll be going for a walk. I will go to get a snack in the kitchen and I'll come back out and she'll have a different pair of shoes on, you know? And she's like, these are just the ones. And then she's always wanting to wear Frank's clothes. So she's always shoved into some tight little shirt. Yeah. She doesn't know it's his though. She's just like, mine.
She's like, all
my turn. Ruth's turn. My turn. Oh my gosh.
She's at that age. That's my most favorite age.
Oh my God.
I'm obsessed.
I could use a little more verbal communication personally, but Ember was talking so young, wasn't she? She was like talking at like 1.5 years.
Ember was speaking.
I mean, like saying sentences at 1.5 years.
Ember was like saying sentences at 1 year.
Yeah.
But my child did not walk until she was like 1 year. She was like 1 year and I mean, not 2, but
I mean, dude, I don't know about
her verbal skills were super ahead and her physical skills were like quite far behind.
Well, it's funny because Franklin has like the man has no motivation to move. Like Ruth used to get her arms and legs stuck in like the crib because she'd be rolling all around. You put that kid down for a nap, even if he's crying or whatever, he will stay in one spot.
It's so sweet.
But even now, it's like, I don't even think he even thought or had the will to sit until I started plopping him in a sitting position. And all of a sudden he was like, okay, this is good.
So
he doesn't care about crawling, doesn't try to push up on his arms or legs. He just sits there.
That's how Ember was.
Meanwhile, my neighbor's kid is walking at 8 months.
Ungodly.
Demon. But yeah.
But that's always, I had a good friend who had her son, him and Ember,
oh yeah, I know.
were like born within like 3 weeks of each other. And I was always so like bewildered at the physical activity that was happening so quickly. Like he was like that too, walking at 8 months or like crawling out of the crib and like throwing himself out of his crib come see her at like before he was 1 year old. And I'm like, oh my God, Ember still is sleeping in a sleep sack.
Yeah.
She couldn't even get out. Like, I don't understand. Ember slept in a sleep sack until she was about 4.5.
Ruth's still in one, and the size of the sleep sack that she's in, she could go till 6 if I wanted her to.
You better believe I kept that girl in her little crib because she never tried to get out.
Well, see, now I have to put the sleep sack on Ruth backwards because she started escaping out of her crib. But now she's tethered to the crib because she can't swing her leg over the side because of the sleep sack. Oh, yeah. And when she walks around the room in the little sleep sack, it's so cute.
Dude, Amber, legitimately and when I tell you one day ago, I mean 1 day ago, has never once gotten out of her bed in the middle of the night or in the morning when she wakes up or from a nap. She calls us. So anytime she wakes up, when she wakes up in the morning or wakes up from a nap, she goes, "Mom, mommy, mama, mom, mommy, mama, mom, mommy." Same exact little song every single time. She won't get out of her bed. She waits until I come and I turn the light on.
Did she walk into the room?
This morning, all of a sudden, she just walks out of her bedroom into our room. And I was like, I was horrified.
I've seen a ghost.
And I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm a big girl now. Now I get out of bed when I'm ready to get out of bed. And I was like, well, I mean, sure. But also sometimes you wake up very early. But she just would call and wait until I would
in my
come.
head told me it's time to get out of bed and come into the room.
She said something so
Stop
scary
it.
a couple nights ago.
Tell me.
I told Evan this late last night and I could barely sleep after I said it to him, just reminding myself of it. This was a couple days ago. Evan was doing a podcast. So I was like by myself in the house alone. And she calls me and it's probably like 10 at night. She's been sleeping for a couple hours. And she's sitting up and she's like, "Mom," and she's fully awake. She's not like in a dream state.
Oh no.
And
Here we go.
She goes, "Mom, Mom." And I come and she goes, "Mom, there's a whisper in my ear. There's a whisper in my ear." And I'm like, "What is the whisper in your ear?" And she's like, "It's saying Amber." And I'm like, she did that voice, dude.
What did you say?
I didn't know what to say. I'll tell you a couple things.
You're like, "Pray to Jesus, rebuke it in the name of the Lord."
First of all, I was like, "It's okay, honey. It was definitely just a dream." And she's like, "Can you sit here and just rub my stomach?"
You're like, "No, bitch."
It's so dark in her room. And I'm sitting on the edge of her bed, petting her stomach so fast, like looking behind me. I'm like, I'm getting out of here.
You better believe sometimes when I put Ruth down, I'm like, I dart out of the room so fast. I'm like, "Good night, bitch. Good luck in there."
When you get that creepy feeling that there's like something in, I'm just like, have a good sleep. It's so scary. It was so scary. I ran out of the room as quickly as I could. I pet her as like, oh God.
Wow. Okay. Well.
Oh, anyway, very scary.
Did you know one time Ruth was sleeping over at my in-laws and they have a very, very old house. And it's actually not that much older than ours, but it looks really old because it's like a log cabin-y thing in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So my mother-in-law sleeps like downstairs in the bedroom next to Ruth so she can hear her just in case.
Yeah.
And she said one night, like Ruth like woke up just randomly, like screaming, like panicking in the middle of the night. You know, she went and soothed her and put her back down. But then like 10 minutes later, when Linda was laying in bed, like the toy in the room started going like, cling, 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 you know, whatever. And Linda was just like, oh, like something's moving about in the house tonight, but was like 100% serious. And I was talking to our other friends and I was like, you ever get a weird like feeling about like Linda and Jim's house? And they were like, oh yeah, there is shit going on in there all the time. But it's like happy. It's like happy ghosts. Like that place used to be like a brothel and like fun times. And I'm just like, I know every time I sleep there.
Oh no, you can't sleep in that. You can't sleep in that. It doesn't matter if it feels happy. So what's been feeling like...
I don't want you in my room. I don't want any happy, fun people dancing around my room while I'm asleep.
You could be the nicest person in the entire world. I don't want you staring at me while I sleep.
Jess, if you died now, I wouldn't want you in my room haunting me.
I would never do that to you. I would never haunt you. I would definitely go and hang out at Ben's house.
I might spook you. Ben from The Bachelor. I'd maybe spook you out once or twice. Just once or twice. You'd be like, you'd be putting on your eyelashes in the morning. I'd come up behind you. I'd shake your arm.
Oh my my God. The daytime one,
If I die and that happens, that's me.
Okay. Well, actually, that's nice to know.
If you're getting ready to go out and you're putting on your eyelashes at night and I shake your hand and you get it all over your eye. That's a nice moment
because then I'll realize, I'll be like, this is Becca letting me know that she's on the other side.
Fucking
and either
you,
she's stuck here, which really sucks, or she's...
Exercise me, please, if you feel that.
Do something to get her out of the house somehow, but...
All right, well, with that,
well, Broads, thank you so much for your questions. We love you. And next week we will have more episodes. We definitely have an episode coming out. I'm going to tease an upcoming episode because I'm not sure when this episode will be released or happen, but I'm so excited for it. We are going to do, what's that game called? The
Newlyweds
We're going to do the Newlyweds game, the four of us.
Oh my God,
and
I can't wait.
And I think Malik will host it. It'll be just a great time. So prepare yourself for that. Maybe that'll be next week. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe.
We'll see. Anywho, Broads, we love you.
Chat soon.
Chat soon.